Hello, welcome back to another video. Today I will be doing reviews of books I have recently read, and also to show some books that I have just gotten recently, because I've gotten a lot of books compared to what I usually get in the month of October. So let's just begin. Firstly, I'd like to review the first book that I read and finished in October, which would be Fathers and Sons by Ivan Turgenev. It was written in 1862 and is considered the first of Russian realist novels. So it heavily influenced both Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, who is much more popular than anyone like Turgenev. Turgenev is still a very popular figure in Russian literature, but he is less popular than the rest, but he still has some praise. So the book is essentially about Arkady and Bazarov. I'd say Bazarov and Arkady the two main characters. I'd say Bazarov's more so, but Arkady is also a really main figure in the book. So it's about Arkady, who brings his college friend Bazarov home, to hang out. Not hang out, but stay at his place with his fathers. And Bazarov is a nihilist. So a lot of the book is about the difference between generations, between Arkady's father's generation, who are obviously not nihilists, and Bazarov, who's wholeheartedly nihilist. Now this is interesting because this was written before Nietzsche, so a lot of reactions to nihilism would just show that it doesn't result in anything. It doesn't produce any value. Even in the individuals that see who most productive individuals in nihilism, it ultimately results in death. So I feel Bazarov as a character is a very strong and poignant, and I feel because of those reasons, this is a very strong book with strong characters, with strong narrative, and a strong plot. I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. Now a book that I also read recently was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It's a very good book. It has very poignant themes that I would say are still relevant today. It's very well written, very poetic. I like the references to other books within this book, and the framing device in it is extremely well written. It's amazing. It might be the best framing device I can think of anything that I've read or watched. So because of that, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Right now, I'd say it's in my top 5 books, but hopefully I'll be overtaken because I want to read better books, Now another book that I've recently read, so this is the version of Frankenstein I have. This book is somewhat controversial because of the themes that it's producing, but I feel if you want to be a critical thinker, you shouldn't just go for ideas that you agree with and have a confirmation bias. You should look for ideas that you actively disagree with. So because of that, I read a book called From Aristocracy to Monarchy to Democracy, A Tale of Moral and Economic Folly and Decay by Hans Hermann Hoppe. At the beginning of the book, I disagree with him a lot. I agree with him on some topics, not everything. And I feel that's good because you should want to be changing your opinion a lot when you're learning new things. But because if you're not learning, you're not going to change your opinions. And if you're not changing your ideas, you probably aren't learning at all. So I'd say in this book, he has a lot of arguments against democracy, which obviously sounds crazy, but he feels that democracy actually strips rights and freedoms away from individuals. That's why he's against it. Because he believes it's a sort of totalitarian structure, that even within a monarchy that would be more authoritarian in some sense, that democracy is more totalitarian because it totally overrides all aspects of citizens' daily life and also their economic life. So in it, he argues that that democracy selects for the individuals that are the most corruptible, essentially. Because if you look at how to win an election and the abilities that you need for it, it is essentially manipulation. So, because when you're trying to win an election, you obviously not have to manipulate them. Well, essentially you're manipulating whoever is voting for you, to agree with you, and to decide to pick you. So we believe that because of this, democracy selects extensively for people that aren't the most morally fit. He also believes that democracy, unlike a monarchy or an aristocracy, it actually allows for the citizens to become more adversarial against each other. Because in a monarchy, yes, you can disagree with the government, but you disagree with the government, you're not disagreeing with family, friends, or other people. But within a democracy, it politicizes everything, and because of this, certain rights are very important to you, and if you believe someone else is taking those rights, they'll be essentially your enemy. And it means that democracy, which essentially you're voting for people that might disagree with someone else, this makes other people potential enemies and threats to yourself, which causes a worse, essentially social environment. And he also believes that monarchies as a system allow for, yes, people, because he disagrees with taxation as a concept. He also believes that in democracy, it essentially widens the amount of people that are able to steal from you. because he believes that taxation is theft because it is a forceful seizure of capital, and he believes that's the exact same definition as theft. So he believes that taxation is theft. And because of this, he believes that in a monarchy, yes, you're still being stolen from essentially, believes that it's a less amount of people are stealing from you. But from within a democracy, it's essentially everyone who wants to. So because of this, he disagrees with essentially like the welfare state, because he believes that it's taking the value and capital from people who he believes deserves it more and is giving it to everyone else who hasn't worked for it. And he believes that welfare causes people to stay at the same rate and not actually uplift themselves. Now, he has very interesting like points and arguments from history that he uses. And I'd give this book about a 7 or 8 out of 10. It was well written. Now, in regards to the books that I am at this current moment reading, I'm reading 2 books. One of them is non-fiction, one of them is fiction. So I'll start with the non-fiction one because I started reading it like slightly before. It's Logic, a very short introduction by Graham Priest. This is a very short introduction, as the name states, of formal logic. So formal logic is essentially taking arguments and making them math. So let me find an example from the book. So essentially, you're creating formulas for arguments. And this is the bedrock of essentially analytical philosophy, and also just all philosophy if you want to have good arguments. It helps you think better and able to destruct other people's arguments and construct your own. So that's a very good book. I'm almost done it. Another book that I'm reading is The Sorrows of Young Werther. It's by Goethe. He lived in about the 17th century or 1700s, and he was like a proto-romantic, unlike Mary Shelley or Byron or Percy Bysshe Shelley or Keats. So the book is about a guy, and it's written in the form of letters, who falls in love with this girl, but she's married to another guy, so he's like essentially sad. It's okay, I don't know, it's kind of hard to get through. It's not the best classic that I've read. So now, books that I've recently bought in. I got this book, 10 Great Works of Philosophy. So it includes, let me just read them out. Includes Plato. Now I'll be going on to books that I recently bought in. So firstly, 10 Great Works of Philosophy, which include Plato's Apology, Plato's Crito, Plato's Phaedo, Aristotle's Poetic, St. Anselm's Proof of the Existence of God, Thomas Aquinas' Proof of the Existence of God, René Descartes' Annotations on the First Philosophy, an Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding, Prolegomena, Any Further Metaphysics by Immanuel Kant, John Stuart Mill's Utilitarianism, and The Will to Believe by William James. I'll do that most of those are epistemology books. I've already read all the stuff by Plato, but I haven't read the other ones. I also bought Reflections on the Revolution in France. I bought this as like a complement to On the Social Contract by Rousseau, because On the Social Contract by Rousseau essentially not started, but heavily influenced the philosophy and the politics behind the French Revolution. So this is essentially the opposite, against the French Revolution. So that'll be an interesting dual read. I bought Key Philosophical Writings of René Descartes. So when I read both these books, I guess I'll read a discourse on Foundations of I forgot what it was. I'll read that twice from Descartes, and there'll be the first philosophy book that I read twice probably. I also got the Divine Comedy, and it's illustrated by Gustave Doré, who's probably my favorite artist of all time. So it's great to have a whole Divine Comedy in one hard. I don't know if this video's kind of choppy, it's because my phone keeps cutting out. But as I was saying, it's good to have the whole Divine Comedy in one set, and also in hardcover, and also illustrated. That's just amazing. Another book I got is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, which is also hardcover. Some people say this is the greatest book of all time, so we'll see. Interesting plot from what I know. And then this is the book I've been wanting to get for the longest time, The Penguin History of the World. It's a really big book. It's 1,200 pages. So it's essentially a history of the entire world. It's more like essays, not essays, but each time period gets a certain thing, and then each time period from that is a book, and within those books there's individual chapters and places in the world. So yeah, those are all the books that I have read recently, that I am reading, and that I'm going to read hopefully in the foreseeable future. Thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe, watch my other videos, check out my Substack. Thank you.